Hey everybody, it's Jax again from the Popcorn View Podcast. Today's gonna be my episode 58. AEW Dynamite Homecoming, Jacksonville, Duval. Let's go. All right, guys. So this show started off with Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe face off before Wrestle Dream. Um, Samoa Joe was definitely showing off his heelish side, dressed up to the nine, nice blue little suit he had on there, or in his case, little big suit. Not body shaming at all. You know, Joe's one of my favorite guys there. Always has a great promo. Always shows. Always delivers. Joe is the guy right now. Yes, Hangman is the champion. It's going to be a decent match, but I did mention how is Joe getting a match if he doesn't have a bunch of singles wins? Because he's been in the trios championship for a few months now, so it doesn't make sense how he's number one contender. But that's just me. We're going to let the story ride out. But they were just going back and forth with each other in the ring. You know, Joe told the ops to stay back, no physicality from what Tony Schiavone said. So they were just exchanging words back and forth. Um, Hangman tells Joe, you know, why is he so mad? You know, pretty much he's confused about the situation. And then, you know, he's always like, yeah, you're telling me I never beat you before. We never had the opportunity to wrestle. So you're over here like getting upset. He was like, he says, Joe, you're distracted. And Joe was like, and I owe you. He tells Samoa Joe, I owe you. And he was like, yeah, you owe me. He goes, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be the champion. If it wasn't for the ops, you would never be where you are today. You probably still wouldn't hold that championship around your waist or over your shoulder. Um, it's gonna be a great match. Joe always has a great promo. He always has like something serious to say. He always has something real to say. Like he brings in like real world and wrestling world together. So it always seems like he's truthful no matter what he's saying. Samoa Joe has that rare gift that can bring audiences in, and just by his facial expressions, know he's serious. So can't wait to see this. But Joe did call Hangman Adam Page a fucking fraud. He goes, "You're a fraud of a champion. You don't deserve to be champion." Hmm. Let's see how that plays out, guys. Honestly, like in a way, I can see what he's saying. If it wasn't for the ops, he wouldn't be champion, and he's right. If it wasn't for the ops, he would not be champion. But again, let's see how it plays out. I'm excited for Wrestle Dream. You guys let me know what y'all think about this match. Um, First match of the night, you had Mox versus Ishii. They were saying that Mox is up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken, on Ishii. So this was like a third match for them. Yeah, Mox was 2 over him. It was just Marina getting involved like normal, you know. Ishii was doing his thing, Mox was doing his thing. Yeah, Ishii's a little bit older than Moxley there. Been wrestling in Japan for years, but he has come over multiple times to help out AEW, Forbidden Door. He's with the conglomeration, if I'm not mistaken. But good hard nosed match. They were hitting each other hard. Again, Marina Shafir gets into the match. Moxley actually chokes out Ishii in the ring. And I believe somewhere during the match, he busted his nose open. So he's sitting there getting choked out with a bloody nose. So decent match. Can't complain. I know somebody will, but I personally didn't mind it. We get to see different. Again, if it wasn't for AEW, I wouldn't know who Ishii is. I wouldn't know who Okada is. I wouldn't know who what's his name, Rocky Romero is, because these guys all wrestled in Japan. So it's like I wouldn't know Will Ospreay. I wouldn't know who these guys are if it wasn't for AEW. So AEW, thank you for that. Um, you did see the Bucks at one point begging or banging on Tony Khan's door. Hey, we need a big money match. They're broke again, so we need a big money match. We need a big money match. So they're begging for a match from Tony Khan, whether it's at the pay per view or whenever they want a match so they can win some money because they're fucking broke again. Um, so you did have the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate and their Jacksonville Street Fight. It was a decent match. Each one got off really good. Bobby was getting his licks. Toa Leon was getting his legs. Ricochet was doing his thing. Sheldon was doing his thing. MVP was doing it. At one point, MVP and Ricochet were having like a sword fight, but with MVP's cane and a kendo stick. So they were just doing that. A bunch of people got thrown through tables. Ricochet at one point was hiding behind a table from MVP. And then they all started taking turns on Ricochet, knocked him out, got the 1, 2, 3. Even though it was a street fight, I expected it to be out in the parking lot, maybe in the arena, the football arena, something. It was a decent match, good match, but it all was contained in the actual ring and ring area, the stage, all that. I just expected more from this match. When I hear street fight, I'm expecting outside the parking lot. When the Best Friends did it a few years back, in Daly's place, they were in the parking lot. People got slammed into windshields, got thrown into cars, on the hoods, outside, got hit on the tables, getting hit with baskets. Like, it was craziness outside. They were fighting in front of the Jaguar outside of the stadium. They could have did the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, good match. Like I said, these guys did their thing, but there could have been a little bit more. But I will tell you, I don't think it's over between these guys. They made them lose their championships. Ricochet and the GOA, the Demand, made the Hurt Syndicate lose their championships. So yeah, they got one over on them. I don't think it's enough. They should maybe wrestle a couple more times, but we'll see how it plays out. You had the family promo, going out there talking shit, Don Callis family, and just taking shots. They have a lot going on for this episode. They had what was it called? Okada and Takeshita winning for possibly winning a number one contendership. Kyle Fletcher was wrestling Kyle O'Reilly. Just the family was just in everything, guys. Like, they had like somebody. I think they had like 3 matches today, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 matches out of the 4. They kind of like dominating right now. That's what I'm saying. How do these guys not have all the fucking gold in AEW? But that's just me. Jurassic Express comes out. I believe they wrestled some locals or just maybe some Ring of Honor guys. I expected it to be a really quick match. Personally, it was a decent match, kind of showing Jurassic Express getting back into the swing of things. But if y'all notice, Jungle Boy Jack Perry was still kind of like the heelish fight. Like, he wanted to take the easy way out. He wanted to take like cheap shots. And Luchasaurus looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, kind of like stopping him from doing it. So they may clash in the future, or Luchasaurus might just say, yo, you're right. Let's go your way. At one point, they were both heels, so maybe they'll stay that way. But after the match, they're celebrating, they're throwing their hands up. You actually had the Young Bucks in the crowd come attack them and take them out. So right after that, it was announced that you're going to have the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express for a $500,000 purse at Wrestle Dream. So the Young Bucks got their wish. Probably did it themselves, but Tony Khan obliged them. You're wrestling Jurassic Express for the $500 purse at Wrestle Dream. So we'll see, guys. It'd be kind of nice to have the Young Bucks lose, so they'd be still broke, but we'll see. Kyle Fletcher versus Kyle O'Reilly 2. I personally didn't know they wrestled at all. So Kyle O'Reilly shows his old school technique, ground and pound, submissions and stuff like that. Kyle Fletcher hits with the hard hitting moves like he usually does, body slams, teardrops, all that shit. Hard hitting legs in the corner. Just a monster. Like, I've been praising Kyle Fletcher for the longest time. I'll say for a few months now. Once he turned on Will Ospreay, he had a complete different persona, and the man is amazing. Like I said, Kyle Fletcher, AEW Men's World Champion within the next 3 to 5 years. Y'all can quote me on that. Both of them look good though. Kind of sucks though. We knew the TNT champion was going to win. He's too new in his reign, and he just lost to Hangman a few weeks ago. So you're not going to make your guy lose. You're technically number 2 right now. You're not going to make your number 2 lose again and look weak. So it made a lot of sense. Again, good match. You have Kyle versus Mark Briscoe at Wrestle Dream that was announced. So you are going to have that match there. And then you did have Mercedes Monet TBS Open Challenge. She said she wanted to wrestle somebody from Florida. And there was a lot of speculation that it might be Dakota Kai, which to me didn't make sense. Dakota Kai might live in Florida, but she's not from the United States. So that didn't make sense when I heard that. And then Lacey Lane, she used to wrestle in the NXT and WWE. So she actually came out. She actually looked really good. She was doing her thing. This is what I be telling people. People hate on Mercedes Moné, but she puts her competitor over. Like a lot of the time she's getting a roll up or she's, doing a cheap pin or something like that. For the most part, she's losing. She's almost like the Ric Flair of women wrestling. She's losing almost the entire time that she comes at the end and wins. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I know a lot of people don't, but Mercedes keep putting people over. And I think she just won a 10th championship now. So she's 10 belts, Monet. Congratulations, girl. You're doing a thing, putting women on the map, showing people other promotions that people wouldn't see until you wrestle them. So I appreciate what you're doing. You and Lacey Lane put on a great show. Yes, Mercedes won, of course, but in all, put on a good show with Lacey Lane. I don't think you guys ever wrestled, from what I know. You may have, maybe in the Indies, but from what I know, no, you have not wrestled her. And it was a great match. Both put on a great show. Yes, Mercedes won, so guys, get over it. Mercedes won. But a great match and all. Can't wait to see what Mercedes has in the future, and let's see what happens with Lacey Lane. Maybe she'll team up with somebody and go after the tag team titles. We do need some fresh blood in that. And by her coming, she used to be a tag team specialist in WWE. It only makes sense to make her a tag team champion. Maybe she'll be one of the ones who are in the tournament with somebody. Guys, what do you guys think? Let me know. You did have a match there with Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita from the Don Callis family. Now, there was a little stipulation in this match. If Brodito or Okada would have one of them pin, I think it was one of them pin. I'm sorry, Brodito and Bandito and Brody King. If one of them pins Okada, they get a championship match against Okada. But if Okada and Takeshita win, they get a number one contendership at Wrestle Dream. They were actually doing good. Bandito has a banged up shoulder, it looked like. Um, he wasn't 100% in the match. You kept seeing him kind of like taking extra time on the side, on the side on the apron. Wasn't getting in as much. And it was a good match. You still see Okada and Takeshita having issues, guys. So I don't know about you, but I see Takeshita taking that title off of Okada. I see it. He's going to break off of the Don Callis family, do his own thing like Will Ospreay did. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I see Okada leaving. I'm sorry, Takeshita leaving and go after Okada's championship title. But the Don Callis family pulls it off. They have a number one contendership shot at Wrestle Dream, and they're still not 100%. Okada tagged himself in, took the pin after Takeshita did all the work. So they're still pissed off at each other. Let's see what happens there. I don't see them winning the tag titles personally, but it's going to be a crazy dynamic that's continuing to build for those two guys. So let's see what happens. Um, and actually, Bandito blamed himself. He said, "Hey, this is my fault. We lost. I wasn't 100%. I'm sorry." And Brody King's like, "Yo, you ain't got nothing to be apologized about. You my boy." He was like, "We gonna ride together." He goes, "We gonna fall together. We gonna ride together." He was like, "That's it." He goes, "We lost this week. We gonna win at Wrestle Dream. Don't worry about it. You watch that." So it was kind of nice to see. He picked up his boy. Yo, this is on us. Yeah, you wasn't 100%, but we both lost. So don't take that on the chin like that. So that was nice to see. Honestly, um, you had Pac versus OC, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. I'm not gonna lie, Pac looking jacked as shit. He did have like a weird old school carnival wrestling singlet. If anybody remembers those from the old cartoons, um, just changed up his gimmick or his gear. He's got the shorter hair now, so he changed up his ring gear. But he looked jacked. They said that Pac, I think, is like this will be the fifth time they wrestle, and Pac actually has one over on. He's got his 2-1-1, so he's 1-2, lost one, and tied one. Like one was no contest or something like that. Um, but both of them put on a great show. Honestly, there was no title on the line, but great show. Um, Pac showing off his technique in the ring. Orange Cassidy, hitting him with the like bullshit leg kicks and like slap some and like it's nothing. Like, you good? And the gimmick that he has, just playing it, and then he just amps himself up. So great match. Um, You know, Pac does like a pile driver. OC then just goes after him, does his thing. It was just an all great match. These guys have great chemistry. No wonder why this is the fifth match they wrestled. Um, then you did have a Darby. They were wrestling outside on that little stage they have. Darby comes out of nowhere and kind of like handcuffs Pac to his leg to one of the railings. And the ref starts counting, gets really close to 10. Orange Cassidy gets in there. Pac actually rips the chain off, apparently, rolls into the ring. OC hits him with a couple moves real fast, and then boom, beats him. So now they're 2-2-1. So they're probably gonna have another match to see who wins the third. The third, usually they work in threes, have three over somebody, and you move on. So that's probably what's gonna happen. But after that, you had the Death Riders come out trying to attack Darby. Darby has like a fucking book bag with shit, starts throwing stuff at. He has like a mock cocktail, tries to light this shit up and throws it at the Death Riders. Darby actually gets attacked by security. They're kind of holding him down. Everybody like, yo, what the fuck? You trying to blow people up? Like, it's Darby's crazy as shit. So what do you guys think he's gonna do? And then you're gonna have you ask for an I quit match. This dude not gonna quit. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here. He's not gonna quit. You're gonna have to record Darby. It's one that kind of did with Mick Foley years ago with The Rock, saying I quit and then play it over the speakers to make it sound like he quit. Because Darby gonna be unconscious. Dude climbed Mount Everest. He did some skateboarding tricks with a broken foot. He worked with Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk did like another trick on his leg while it was broken. Like, this dude does not care. He jumped over his house on a bike. Like, Darby Allin's balls to the wall every day, single day, no matter what. Darby Allin does not care. Can't wait to see that match at Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream's getting stacked too. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But again, AEW Dynamite Homecoming Duval. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Y'all have a great one.